This is a high quality hospital. So the next hospital that I want to show you is not in Tonga Tapu. Like I showed earlier, there's other islands that are a bit less fortunate. So coming out here, we can see the Prince Wellington Hospital. As you might imagine, this hospital, I wouldn't feel as comfortable rolling up to this hospital if I was ill. Dirt roads, a little bit less sanitary looking, as you can imagine. One of the main problems with Tonga in this regard is that they don't have the best facilities. Obviously, they don't have all of the equipment that they need to treat all the problems. So a lot of sicknesses are taken to hospitals outside of the country, whether that be New Zealand, Fiji, and so on. But the main problem that I want to talk about in Tonga is actually NCDs. NCDs are non-communicable diseases. They're diseases that aren't infectious. You can't spread the disease from one person to another. These diseases are mostly based um, on lifestyle, on the way that you eat, the way that you exercise, and so on. So some of the main diseases that Tonga faces are diabetes and heart disease. So a large percentage of the population of Tonga is actually obese. Um, in the last, let's see here, Tonga is the 5th most obese country in the world, and in the last 30 years, the average weight of men and women have increased by about 40 pounds. So with the increase of weight, the obesity comes other health concerns, diabetes, heart failure, and so on. So one of the things that actually, before I move on to what I was going to say, I also want to talk about the use of alcohol and tobacco in Tonga. This is also a problem that along with obesity, causes the majority of the illnesses and diseases in the nation. Um, so Tonga has made a few goals just to show that they're really trying to fix this. They wanted, but in 1990 when they made the goals, they wanted to reduce NCDs or non-communicable diseases by 2% per year by 2015. They wanted to reduce the prevalence of diabetes by 10%, reduce the prevalence of adult and child obesity by 2%, improve the rate of moderate intensity physical activity per day by 10%, improve the diet by improving the rate of consumption of 5 servings of fruits or vegetables per day by 10%. They also wanted, like I said, they've got some other problems. They want to reduce the prevalence of current tobacco smokers by 2% and reduce the prevalence of binge alcohol drinking among youth by 10%. So Tonga has a high percentage of smokers, alcohol users, and there's a lot of obesity, lack of exercise, poor diet, etc. So one thing that they do, they actually sometimes at this park right here, want to come down to it, it zooms in, you can see they'll sometimes hold, the country has wanted, like I said, to increase exercise, so they'll hold these Zumba or other aerobic exercise plans or whatever here, so that people, as they walk by the beach or whatever, can just do it for free. So it's free exercise with an instructor and so on to teach about aerobic exercise and the importance thereof. This is how I want to spend my development dollar, actually, is to help prevent the communicable diseases. I would like to devote my dollar to starting a group who will do free stop smoking workshops, diet education, diabetes education, alcoholic meetings, aerobic exercise plans like the one here, because I'm in the nursing program and I see at the hospital a lot of sicknesses and illnesses that are caused, like I said, also by non-communicable diseases here, and they're rather painful and hard to go through. So if we can prevent, then that would be the best thing that we could do. The last millennial development goal that I want to talk about is global partnership for development. Tonga is very friendly. Everyone who knows anyone who's Tongan knows that Tongans are very friendly, and they're known as the Friendly Islands. They've started to create partnerships with other countries. The main partnership I want to talk about is the Australia-Tonga Partnership for Development. In this partnership, which formed in 2009, Australia has committed to help Tonga meet their MDGs with four priority outcomes. The four priority outcomes are improve the infrastructure of Tonga. So as I showed you in the outlier islands, there's some problems with infrastructure. Reduce the prevalence of non-communicable disease risk factors such as smoking, obesity, and so on, as I talked about earlier, with the free exercise here, hospitals, ways to prevent that, educate more. Also build a more highly skilled workforce, and develop a more efficient public sector. So one of the things that I love about this partnership is that under the agreement, Tonga will receive 10% additional aid from Australia. However, this only occurs if Tonga reaches certain governance targets. So Australia only gives the extra money as Tonga uses it appropriately. I like this idea because it fits in with the whole idea of if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, but if you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So this partnership is very effective. So far, it's already shown improvement in all four of its goals, and I believe that it will continue to do so. So that concludes my Google Earth tour. Actually, I want to show you one more place. This is the Ministry of Works. This is where basically everything goes on. So when Tonga wants to work on its water or sanitation or whatever, this is the main government facilities where they decide how the money is allocated and so on, how the infrastructure can be improved and so on. So that concludes my tour of Tonga. It's a beautiful place, truly beautiful. And so I want to go ahead and close by saying that I've really enjoyed learning about Tonga. It's a wonderful place, and I think that it's progressing in the right way.